Welcome to Valley Strange, episode number 5. In this episode, we're going to be going through lots of strange news and satanic panic. Episode might be broken up into 2 parts, so you just stay tuned. We don't want to exhaust you with all the stuff that we're going to be talking about.
Satan.
This knowledge.
Random ass things going on in the world today. Last where we left you off, we had talked about strange news, and that was back in November, unfortunately, through December. Schedules, time constraints, all that kind of stuff.
Holidays.
The holidays. It's Christmas, right? That's what it's called.
Yeah, that's Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah, I guess.
Those are the 2 big ones. Hanukkah, if for our Hebrew friends.
Happy Hana Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
Festivus.
So we're back now for our first episode for the new year. Let me see here. If before we go into satanic panic or the strange news, let me introduce ourselves. My name is Ray, your host, and in studio today we have
Bryan.
Yeah, and the man out there wandering the world in San Antonio.
The Traveler.
Oh yeah, that's
Traveler,
me. Yeah.
Roland.
This is Roland.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that James Taylor was a time traveler, and Walking Man was really about you, buddy.
Oh fuck! Where's my check?
Right. And normally we do have Bryce joining us for the Valley Strange episodes, but unfortunately he can't be here today. So we have Daniel filling in for him today.
Yes, from the frozen wastelands of Eastern Washington. Hello.
So nice.
There's so much fucking snow. Oh,
So
fuck me.
Does that make you a Yeti?
I mean, you've seen Star Wars. Wookiees can travel from place to place, yo.
That's true. That's true. Are you having to cut open any tauntauns?
All right.
Not yet.
Thinking about it.
Once I see it's on, they're fucked. But I can definitely get me a deer.
All right. So what do you want?
All right.
to start?
Again, like we said, we're going through our strange news, and our main topic is satanic panic.
Hail Satan.
We recommend actually going to check out our past episode number 3, in which we discussed the book Michelle Remembers, which kind of sparked a lot of the satanic panic back in the 80s. And not to say that the panic has subsided in any way. It's just not at its height.
It's become it's closeted panic now.
Closeted panic. It's I could say that. It's more subtle. I've experienced something similar, which I'll get into as well.
Now people just go on like Facebook and go like Satan is Lord fan page number 15 and like
the devil exists.
Yeah, let's talk about Luciferianism because it has some real negative connotations in the media, but it's really about liberation.
It's about positive and negative energy.
Yeah,
Not so much
I can never get that fucking like nasally know-it-all tone down, but you guys know what I'm talking about.
The best I can.
That little sharp-pointed fucking goatee, you know.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's
All the
you
rings
saw a
and
lot of
shit.
those persons on the Geraldo special of Satanism. Yeah, I don't remember what it was called, but you did a few episodes on that. But you did have a lot of those persons that looked the part, spiky little eyebrows,
like an Italian
black clothes,
dark goth kid. Yeah,
there's a lot of goth-looking people in there, so that pretty much associated that kind of image with Satanism and whatnot. And then you have Anton LaVey. Like when his persona, the house, it's all black and all that kind of shit. The Church of Satan. Now we have a more
channeling Aleister Crowley.
I want to say like libertarian type of Satanism going on with the Satanic Temple.
Right.
Trying to kind of like getting like religious equal rights to people.
Right. They're trying to
like their main,
sticking it to the cucks or whatever, and their bigoted, closeted views on worshiping false deities or whatever. Sheesh. All that bullshit.
Baphomet lives.
I just wanted to know what your God has to say.
The devil's all about
hate.
love, guys.
Yeah, what is it? Why does your God hate freedom? Lucifer just wants to liberate you in your mind.
And Daniel, you grew up in a pretty Christian background,
Setting,
right?
yeah.
Setting,
That was all
setting would
around,
say
yeah.
that,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, didn't you play in the church
Yeah,
too? Sometimes
I went to the church. What's up?
Didn't you play in church too, like the bass or something?
Yeah, man, I played bass, and yeah, I did all that shit. I was filthy, brainwashed youth. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
figure it
first,
out, it's just,
yeah. First, we're gonna get into our strange news. The first topic, the first article that we're gonna go through is "Exorcist Slam Demonic Children's Book." I think this book just came out. It's pretty much
I want a
titled.
copy so hard.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Yeah.
2 years ago.
Actually, I want to get like 10 so I can just hand them around in the neighborhood to like kids. Like, hey,
Wait for Halloween. Here you go, kids. Here's some reading material. Ha! No candy. Here we go. Satan. Have that.
Man,
So,
kids don't want
what
no
is sweeter
books.
than
That's
Satan?
gonna like make them want to immerse
They're gonna be
themselves in
angry.
demons even less.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
If you're handing them out for Halloween instead of candy,
Oh yeah, I guess.
Like-
Well, I mean, if you take a look at this book, it actually looks pretty cool. Though.
yeah, but I mean instead
I
of candy,
haven't had a look-see yet. But
Maybe
I'd very
maybe
much like
a
to.
Snickers.
right? Tape the Snickers to it; they might be
But-
cool with it.
You
I'm
know
not
what would be better?
advocating
them
for,
with,
you know,
like,
any of
nothing
this,
is
but-
sweeter than the information, than the power
Right,
that is
yeah.
available, in this
Power of
tome.
Satan. I was just thinking what would be even more awesome than a children's book, a pop-up book.
I'm pretty
Would
sure
probably be-
that's around too.
Oh man, like first they show you like
Cyber
what
God's
is on
pop-up
the floor,
guide to
and then the
demons.
next page, like they show you the type of portal it fucking
Yeah,
appears.
like
That's
a- like a-
fucking, yeah.
You
that's
you
cool.
open the book and like a cat's face folds out and there's like a pentagram drawn on its forehead or something. And
Did this article that we found actually is on Coast to Coast, and that's where I came across it. Is a group of exorcists are sounding the alarm over a children's book that teaches youngsters to summon demons. The troubling tome, titled "A Children's Book of Demons," was published back in July, but only captured the public's attention a few weeks ago when Walmart began selling the book. And as one can imagine, this sparked a considerable outcry online from people who concerned about exposing kids to the proverbial dark arts, despite the fact that the
Well, like-
spells contained in the book are fictional and center around things like avoiding chores and besting bullies.
exactly.
I mean,
Ooh,
to
wow.
be fair, the people of Walmart are
Those
something
are-
children shouldn't be exposed to either.
Yeah.
Guys, you all know that those kinds of things are fronts. Like they're really all about the satanic undertones and trying to teach social values to kids or whatever. That's
because
that's a
if you
trap.
think about like the patriarchy, like you've got God, and then what is Papa in like a Christian household? He is like God in that household. So if you start rebelling against your parents, not like wanting to pick up your fucking dishes or whatever, or
right.
mow
That's the
lawn or
devil.
something, yeah,
Not
then,
using
like,
soap.
the next thing you know, he's going to be disobeying God.
Says
And
Well,
what do you get
speaking
from
of
disobeying God? A poker up your butt.
oh
in
yeah.
hell.
There you
well,
go.
speaking of disobeying God, I don't know if you all have heard. Jim Baker is going around saying that like supporting or voting for Donald Trump, or pretty much, I guess, blindly following whatever he says as truth, is the most Christian thing someone could actually do. And if you're not, you're pretty much
Yeah.
like going against God. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Are we like one step away from like the oh God, what was that topic back in the day? The divine right of kings? Is that's kind of what it sounds like to me. Had to pull some history
these
stuff
guys
out.
these guys seem to believe that anyways.
Actually, you know what? This is I'm going to go semi-political. Both members of both parties believe this. Any party politician, I mean not party, partisan, that's the word, will take their party's candidate and say, oh, if you don't listen to them, you're the next Hitler, or you're supporting Satan. So it's it's all bullshit.
You're anti-Semitic. You're
people put too much,
but it's kind of
it's kind
of ironic because Jim Baker was the guy who got sentenced to prison for like 4 years or something for like fraud, and then like that sex scandal that he did with I forgot her name, back in the 80s.
Not Tammy Faye.
No, not her. She seemed like a nice lady.
I think they just got done watching Star Wars Episode 3. You know, like. And had a good point there.
If you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
Yeah, I mean,
did you just finish watching Star Wars?
And then you have the Democrats up on the hill going like, "Yes, but God damn it, you ruined my little like Star Wars 3 like analogy I was going to try to weave there with American politics at the heart of it."
So separation of church and state much? Apparently not in this fucking country.
Well, no.
But yes, I did see the wars that happened in the stars. Yes.
No, the thing about separation of church and state just applies to in the government. Not you can't run on. Politic. Yeah, it doesn't apply to being a politician.
It should, man. It really should, because all these guys do is go up there and preach. I don't know.
That's the thing, though.
But then you're fucking with the First Amendment, man.
Very good.
Yeah, but like. It's so I don't necessarily understand the disconnect between government.
I took
and politics
civics in high school. This isn't hard.
It should be more of the same. I would think like you want things that benefit society more than they just like benefit your views or whatever I would think.
Well, but see, that's because their views, they feel their views are what's best for society. That's the thing. That's the way everyone feels. My views are what's best, despite whatever y'all think.
That or fuck it, I got another boat coming. That's cool.
I guess I like.
Well, that's their view.
Somewhat more objective than
people.
I guess
aren't objective. That's the problem. We should do a whole podcast on politics.
Oh, that's a whole different thing. I don't know if I can
that
to that one.
Hard no, man.
I need a lot of alcohol and I don't know
drunken Politico.
My problem is I can argue for either side, but
sure.
Frankly, I don't care what anyone does as long as it doesn't hurt me.
I mean, I think they're both numbskulls, so it should be a fun, exercise regardless.
Words. We are so off topic.
We're right on topic, actually. So
we're still talking about.
Speaking of, I want to read from the statement that was made by. Let me just read this real quick. The fear surrounding the book has now reached all the way to Rome by the way of a scathing statement from the organization known as the International Association of Exorcists. That exists.
Right, yeah. What were they saying?
And the group president, Father Francesco Bomenti, wrote on their website that you don't mess around with demons. Whoever invites a child to summon a demon is like a person who puts a grenade in their hands to play with. Sooner or later, the child will pull the pin and the bomb will explode in their hands. But real quick, I want to go
and that's when you call us the Ghostbusters.
Right. You've got to say it with a Vatican priest Italian accent or something. You don't mess around with demons. Whoever.
See, I knew this was I knew this was in Rome, but I kept thinking of just like Southern Baptist tones.
Sooner or later, the child will pull the pin and the bomb will explode in their hands.
That sounds right.
You can't give a grenade to a child.
Yeah, that's. What else did they say?
Well, the actual they had a link to the actual statement, and the statement said, "At present time, the attempt to propose Satanism to new generations as a normal alternative to other cults, to the various initiatory paths, to the different philosophies of life is clearly underway."
Wait. Hold the phone. Did they actually say a normal alternative to other cults?
Yeah.
Because the other cults are so much better.
Apparently, yeah. But I think what the deal is because Satan is involved. and demons. So if
it's
is
okay to follow like David Koresh or the guys from
he's the second coming,
Hellbop and all that. Yeah. Those guys are cool.
But once you start saying
because they're
demons,
harmless, but you have real demons and the real Satan.
Yeah.
So,
but Satan's not acting through the other cults, so they're cool.
Oh, they're fine with that.
Oh, okay.
We should make a Dr. Seuss Satan book.
Yeah, that's practically what this shit is.
And make millions. You know what? Ray, you and I, we'll figure it out.
Right.
Don't worry.
It says in the volume, A Children's Book of Demons, the author asking children says, summoning demons has never been so fun. And says, don't you want to take out the trash tonight? Maybe you are swimming in your homework. Maybe that big bully is a real nuisance. Well, take your colored pencils and using the skills contained in the drawing of the seals, call some demons. But be careful. Hooray. Even if these spirits are more foolish than scary, they are always demons.
Oh, so there's a warning.
That's a quote from the book.
There's a warning on the book.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's okay. It's Surgeon General says summoning demons could be bad for your soul. Got it.
Yeah, hazardous to the health of your soul. You don't want to get soul cancer, do you, kids?
Actually, we'll actually get more in depth into these books geared towards children because there's a lot of books like that have to do with like teaching children about the Illuminati, which I currently own. And there's this one.
You own the Illuminati?
Well, I own the book. I own the book that's called like I Spy the Illuminati.
Yeah.
And it goes through a bunch of like little conspiracies and stuff like that, introducing the kids to conspiracies, which is a book I probably would have loved to have owned when I was a child. Considering that's pretty much all I would read. Bigfoot, Bermuda Triangle, all that kind of shit. Aliens.
You know what we need?
There's actually a book. I don't know if you've seen these books. It's called the Who Was or What Is series. And it goes through a bunch of historical figures, a bunch of historical landmarks. And one of the landmarks that they have is where is or what is Area 51?
Beautiful.
Yeah, so those are books that are geared towards children. I'm kind of curious as to like why now in our current day are these books like making these topics so casual. But I mean,
I can tell you why. It's because there is no Robert Stack to tell us every Thursday and Friday night what's out there.
Well, you can go on Prime, you can go on your Roku station, and all those episodes are still there.
I mean, it's still there, I understand, but it's not fresh. We need a Robert Stack in our life.
Yeah, actually, they're trying to reboot.
Yeah, I know. It's not going to be the same.
It's not going to be unless they find someone that can speak in the tone and demeanor of Robert Stack.
The second coming.
The second coming of Robert Stack. Yeah.
So
Pauly Shore.
I hated it when they redid Unsolved Mysteries with that other guy. Yeah. It's like
I don't mind that guy, but he just didn't. Do you
think he did it?
I mean, it's just not the same.
Sure. Yeah,
somehow Robert Stack could be menacing. Not menacing, but he could just convey the emotion of unease.
You go, we're going to visit Area 51 with the Weasel.
No, Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, God. Oh, that could be intense. That could be intense.
That would be awesome.
And he stabbed her or whatever.
And they never found the body.
Affleck
is not a sponsor. I just like doing that still.
All right. So we're going to move on from that to the little article there. Again, we'll get more into
I was liking that show we're making, guys.
Oh, yeah, we are. We have ideas coming out of our butts when we're talking about this shit.
We'll make infomercials at some point. Yeah. You know, interludes.
We got
the next article up for discussion is from the Collective Evolution. It's a declassified CIA document shows how astronauts conducted telepathy experiments in space. Now, in brief, I just want to read the brief excerpt here. It's the facts. A document found inside the CIA's electronic reading room goes into detail regarding several telepathic experiments performed successfully decades ago by both U.S. and Soviet astronauts. And they reflect on, with decades of statistically strong results in the lab and so many real-world examples, why is this topic still shunned by mainstream academia, and why is it studied by at the highest levels of government in multiple countries if it's fake?
Well, I can say why the highest levels of government would study it. They can't disprove
You gotta
that
spend
it's
your
fake.
budgets.
And you got to spend your
Spend
budget.
every fucking penny.
And if you can make it work somehow, you're going to be large and in charge.
Are you guys?
They're always looking for.
Do you guys
that.
like
bullshit.
believe like
It's
they have this like
bullshit.
the black budget?
Believe
no.
it's
Yeah.
documented.
Yeah, I know.
I believe.
Like they
yeah,
admit to it. They won't tell us what's in there, but it's documented.
Not to say that those
just think
what
that's
was
for
it, those
the cool
millions
stuff,
of dollars
like,
that were lost right before 9/11, that was it Donald Rumsfeld went on TV and said like, oh, we like don't know where these millions of dollars went, and just so happened the plane crashed into the offices where all those documents were.
Are you guys telling me? Oh, sorry, Ray. Are you suggesting that DB Cooper came out of hiding after so many years?
Man, we should do a
And-
DB Cooper episode.
Dude, he's been out in the open this whole fucking time.
Oh,
He's
sorry
fucking
if I was loud,
like
guys.
DB Cooper is fucking
yeah.
Donald Rumsfeld, man.
What's Rumsfeld's middle name?
Rump.
Brumsfeld? Donald Brumsfeld? Oh, shit. I didn't say it. You heard it here first, guys. Right next to, was it Dave Thompson?
Dave Thompson.
Go back to our Fat Food for Fat People episode where we discussed the
Shadow
the shadow government with Dave Thompson and these nuggets.
Wendy's.
You guys,
Dave Thompson.
the links are coming. And then there was violence in the community with the chicken sandwiches that the government made sure there was a shortage of.
Oh
So
shit!
it
The
caused all these
government's
Popeyes
all on our
debacles.
chicken.
Right.
No, guys, the thing is, I think we need to quit MoQuest now because we're connecting too many dots. We're going to start
we're gonna
popping
end
up
up
on
on a
some
list.
lists. Yeah.
Dave Thompson's gonna show
Are you
up.
kidding me? I'm using my phone
like, I
right now and they're
swear.
listening to this shit right fucking now.
I have Google Home.
There's been a flower company van parked across my apartment for the last 3 years.
They know too much.
That company has never existed.
You know, I'm starting to, Jamie never wants to participate in this particular, these episodes. I'm kind of curious. Is he a spy?
No, he's in the room, so he'll get off just like the rest of us.
Informant, spy is
Yeah.
too classy.
And he
Involves
was
too much
on
effort.
Which is scary. So
he
what
was
were you
on
scared of,
the
Jimmy?
one where we dropped the chicken conspiracy on the world. So
That's true,
they're gonna
yeah.
get him for that anyway.
I'll say Jamie's, the part that he plays in all this is just like sitting on his couch with his phone on his belly while it's just recording. It's recording the room.
Eating nuggets.
Better than cleaning his guns, I guess.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Be ready.
So Roland, do you have any thoughts
So-
on this article here?
I really like the article. If anything, like they put I was talking with Daniel and Bryan about this earlier. I've gone through quite a bit of the information on here, but they have a lot of links to everything. It's got a lot. It seemed to me like a sort of a comprehensive history post sort of World War II about, I guess, governments that have farted around through this stuff. They talk a lot about the Soviet Union. They do obviously mention the CIA and like the Stargate program and the co-founder and the video that he shares about what he understands about ESP, that sort of thing. What's the guy's name? Russell Targ. Yeah. Then they pepper this thing with a couple of interesting quotes here. They got like something from Tesla. They got a few, like little blurbs they took out of, I guess,
Let me just read the one from Tesla here.
reports
It's,
that they've used.
The day science
well.
begins to study non-physical phenomenon, it will make more progress in one decade than in all previous centuries of its existence.
So like to me, Tesla is almost like he's like the H.P. Lovecraft of science or some shit. The guy is fucking kooky as balls, and it's great. Like because it also just happens that he's a fucking genius, or was rather, and so
Tesla's
he can
not
say
dead.
anything and probably make it.
Tesla's not dead.
Oh, excuse me.
He's found a way to.
Right.
He's just merely to
he's-
shed
he's-
his physical form.
Right? Yeah, he's living around the equator with Elvis and fuck.
Wait.
Come on, I need someone
I don't
else
know.
here.
Living, he
can't-
shed his
we-
physical
you can't-
form.
you can't-
Jimi
you can't
Hendrix
equate,
all kicking it.
There you go, Prince, Michael
Prince,
Jackson. No,
David
maybe
Bowie,
not Michael
yeah, I
Jackson.
guess
He's
so.
probably burning in hell. No.
Hey, he didn't do it, all right? I'm just gonna say that right now.
No. But no. So like, this is It's a pretty cool article. They go through a lot of shit here.
The takeaway that they got from here in this section is why do we still ridicule parapsychology?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. They're trying to make the argument for it breaking in or through rather into mainstream academia and
here's
research.
Here's the problem.
It's like whiny postmodernism trying to enter the academy without like all of the like. Well,
all right,
because it's like they're trying to like break that like nature
the
culture divide, blah blah blah, like science versus science versus humanities, like the hard versus soft sciences, and what is accepted, in the academy.
Right, yeah, and that okay, we have all of these hundreds of thousands of bodies of research going, but we can't figure out a way to.
Why don't they just get like grants from the DoD and shit to like
the scientific community? So it's like, okay, you have an experiment now, replicate it.
Maybe is the CIA like looking ahead at not having a loss in like funding? Because if they get into the academy, it's going to get shut down like Ghostbusters, man.
Yeah.
Then you have a bunch of cowboys on your hands.
Then they have to like try to justify wasting all that money or whatever without being able to really back anything up necessarily. I don't know.
Brian, did you have something to add?
Exactly.
I kind of do.
Bullshit.
Go ahead.
Touching on both parapsychology and academia, as well as these remote viewing projects. The first reason why parapsychology is frowned upon looking in academia is, Roland said it just a minute ago, reproducibility. Things like ghosts.
Right.
You can't, unless you can capture a ghost in some kind of a field and take it somewhere and then take it to to lab and test it with different equipment and someone else can see it. We don't accept it.
Provable.
Air quotes, accept.
Well, sure, but they also allow classes to be taught about Harry Potter and the Bible in college. So let's not like talk about
but they're talking about that
so
in
much.
literature, which, let's face it, a large body of literature is just fiction.
Or the psychology of South
science,
Park.
If you ask a lot of like
philosophers,
because like the thing is like I'm fucked up because I had to read all this stuff where like for like a month I straight up just wandered around San Antonio not knowing like what anything really was because my understanding of science was completely destroyed. And so it's like, well, where do you go from there? Weird postmodern assholes with their like, well, like, how do you know that you know that? And
yeah, right. Okay.
It's fun. Not really, but
so
anyway. Then going back.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I'd like to see this happen. I actually would think it'd be very interesting. There's just more information, but I just don't necessarily see it.
Fuck it, just do it in your garage, guys. Like, it's fine.
Now,
if it's gonna work, it's gonna work, man.
The whole other deal I was saying about the remote viewing aspect of things is the fact that the CIA has, over the years, run so many different experiments. They just don't want it to get out because they don't want other governments to try anything different. That's the main thing. They don't want people to know what failed so they can waste their time. I'm not saying it's possible or impossible. I'm just saying that's the thing.
So you're saying is it like they're just doing it so like they don't, whatever findings they have or don't have, they don't want to help people can like they don't want to help someone else.
Right. This technique didn't work. Well, if I look at it and go, well, that technique but what if they had done
so that would allow some other countries to advance?
They don't want to. Yeah, they want to.
You never show your hand. And frankly, if they made it work, they won't tell us jack shit about it because they need that. You don't show your hand to the other governments.
Right.
And you wonder why people have been enemies for fucking ever. Attitudes like that. See, secrets don't make friends.
No, the only way this planet is going to come together is we would need, as Ronald Reagan said, an outside enemy to unite us.
Right. Yeah.
And it's
So
been proven
whenever it
in
is, we
Independence
And
Day.
that's what Satan's for.
Independence Day. Thank you, Ray.
Proof of
I
concept.
mean, that's so that's going to be the unifying factor of the world. The devil. All right.
We need an
Well, we're gonna have
We need a tangible
aliens.
outside enemy. That's the only thing people can come together
We need to
for.
vote for a president who can deliver the speech like Bill Pullman did in fucking.
Let's just vote for Bill Pullman.
We should just vote for Bill Pullman.
I
I don't know. He's kind of
Lone
fucking-
Star.
Lone Star, right?
President
Do you
Lone
know
Star.
how many fucking Comic Cons he's had to do that speech at? He's done with the politicking, but we could probably get a Lone Star out of him.
President Lone Star.
President Lone Star.
so,
Winnebago
do
won.
you guys- did either
I'm
of
liking
you,
this, guys.
I guess have any comments or anything else you thought about this as far as this article goes? I was actually kind of surprised when I found it because I was expecting it just to be something really brief.
Men who
And,
stare at goats. That's my last thought.
Well, that's. I mean, there you go with like different types of experiments that the
No,
government.
but
has
I
done and
do
shit
think
like
it's
that.
nifty that this stuff at least got explored. You know,
Sure.
I don't think it's
Feasible.
a thing at all. Like I think it's bullshit. But
I do want to. I do want to make it known that.
But I
this,
think it's cool they at least they went through the thought experiment and at least produced some results and
Yeah.
whatever. What do I know?
this article did come out January 4th of this year.
Yeah,
Just,
it's
so it's
very
fairly
recent.
It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
stale.
No. Although one that might be just a little on the rough side is the next article that we're going to talk about called "Pig Monkey
Yeah,
Hybrids Are
just a little
Born
bit.
Alive in China and the World."
Oh yeah, I remember
It's a
that.
good article when it's only about 4 paragraphs long and the same 17 sentences are used interchangeably.
It's, I mean,
It's just prime fucking reporting.
Did I send this
It's
one to you?
perfect.
I don't know. I don't remember how I
we
came
have
across this
only
one.
the most exhaustive writing ever found to be found on Yahoo.
No.
I mean, what is there to say
You mean
about pig
exhausting,
monkey hybrids? I mean, that's there's not much left.
It's the wave of the future.
Does anyone want to take a crack at what they actually call these?
Yeah, I'm just gonna shoot this from the hip. From
chimera?
memory.
Man,
But
bear, pig.
apparently, yeah. It was in China that this happened, right? Where they
Yes,
yeah,
in China.
yeah.
and they did pig monkey because they weren't able to get the approval for like human testing or whatever. But I think that's like part of
Yeah,
their
we don't
plan.
want human
99% of the
pigs
genes with
because
the-
someone will mix a
no.
bear in there.
See, but they need a lizard so then we can get the first Spider-Man enemy. So if there's a Spider-Man enemy, then Spider-Man has to exist, right?
Yes.
Like, so think about that, China. I know you're listening.
They call them chimeras.
Retards.
Yeah, chimeras. Well,
Chimeras.
Chimeras. Yes.
Yeah.
Chimeras.
When I saw
China.
this, I thought it
I love that band.
Man Bear
No.
Pig.
Man, bear, pig, Full Metal Alchemist.
I thought of,
all those
thank
things.
you.
Seinfeld, the pig man, in which Kramer
I knew you'd get that,
escapes from
Roland.
the
Oh, Piggy
pig
Man.
man, yeah, from the
No.
hospital.
Piggy Man from American Horror Story.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Let me just read this article since it's so fucking short, and it's kind of ridiculous. Again, this article came out December 29th off of Yahoo News. Scientists in China have created pig monkey chimeras, looking like baby pigs but with some primate cells in the world first. 2 piglet chimeras were born alive but died within days, the New Scientist reports. The research could lead to scientists being able to grow human organs inside animals for transplants, supporters say, known as xenogenic
Organogenesis.
Yeah, see that.
Or
stuff.
Super
I'm
Soldiers.
doing super soldiers. That's called Kurt
Yes.
Russell and fucking Van Damme.
I believe you're talking about
Oh, sorry.
Just
I'm
2
thinking of
movies
Van
that I'm
Damme.
talking about.
Khan from Star Trek.
No, well, I'm referring to the movie Soldier with Kurt Russell and Universal Soldier with Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren. It says, but the
And
research is
Universal
highly
Soldier 2?
controversial, with scientists
Universal
opting to
Soldier
use
3.
cells from crab-eating, was it macaques?
Mackay.
Macaque.
Macaca. It's called macaca.
Macaca vascularis.
Yeah.
Sorry, fasci.
I wish I had
Fat
the article in
monkeys,
front of
though.
me so I could correct the pronunciations without having to try and figure out what you're trying to say.
Macaca. Rather than humans for ethical reasons.
No, it's macaque. They're
Macaque.
macaques.
Macaque.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, they implanted thousands of pig embryos with monkey cells and beautiful proteins. Yeah, I said sales.
No, you said
sales.
Sales.
I'm sorry. I'm still in the retail mind right here. How long do you think like they'll actually like succeed with these? Actually, think these things actually staying alive with these organs in them?
Eventually,
probably.
You think so? Yeah.
They just got to find the right combination of animals that are compatible. Like maybe
they go like to the island of Dr. Moreau or some shit.
Right. That's what we're going to.
Sure.
You're going to have to take like a pig and a bear and then maybe a macaque. Maybe you'll have to use a human.
I can't go with this macaque. Got to get these macaques.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just glad you didn't change the cack part to something else.
Macaque. Yeah, I think that's the one you're talking about. Macaque.
There you go.
Okay, but this one,
there's not much to say there.
Yeah, no, it's just fucking ridiculous.
It's got pretty bitches.
It's strange. It's stupid.
Wait a minute.
Whatever.
I might have one more note on this. No, not. Wait. Yes, actually, I think. I had to take monkeytology in grad school.
Did you?
Yeah.
Is that a real thing?
Because there was
monkeytology. Is that? Oh, you're just. Are you?
I'm making fun of it.
Okay. I got you. I was like,
primatology.
God, I was like, what the fuck, really? I was like, San Antonio's not what the fuck is here.
You'd think they would have used like primatology or something.
Nope.
I'm sorry, Daniel. Go ahead.
Fine arts and monkeyology.
But yeah, I think it was a type of macaque that. Fuck. No, it was because like there's like all these like videos that are talking about like different kinds of like primates that are or non-human primates that exhibits of like culture, like chimpanzees in tool making, chimpanzees in warfare. There's learned practice. I think it's also macaques that like learn to like utilize the shoreline and like the incoming waves to kind of like basically sieve sand out of like the fucking fruit or nuts or whatever the fuck they're eating. And then like generations were able to pick up on this practice.
Yep, you're right. I found a quick article. They have a version of their own Stone Age culture.
Yeah, so I think it's really sweet that like China picked the macaque. Chimps probably been a really good one as well, or bonobos. Since unlike, well, actually, chimps would be bad because like chimps do like to raid other chimp colonies and eat babies and shit.
Right. Chimps at war.
Documented. No, like it's a joke, but you're right.
No,
dude,
I mean, like, there's scenes.
They're vicious.
Like,
I know.
in the fucking forest where like you have like chimps with like staffs, like sticks that they're using to like propel themselves like through the fucking brush and shit. And they're going in and they're just jumping into fucking trees and fucking just causing havoc. It's fucking badass to watch, man.
Interesting.
There are some crazy motherfuckers.
Probably not chimps. Maybe bonobos though, because bonobos sort their problems by fucking, and that's always a good approach.
So yeah, if somebody does like a real quick Google search, you can find information actually just on what Daniel's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, or just look up like primate culture or whatever. Right. Like there's all sorts of tool making and all sorts of
interesting documentation on
and
it.
even ways that chimpanzees like interact with like the way like there's actually like sign language of sorts, like different types of like
nonverbal communication.
Yeah, nonverbal communication. Yeah, that's the best way. I was trying to think of like specific examples of like stuff that's been documented, but as you just mentioned prior to this little rant, you know, people can easily just quick do a Google foo and find some stuff, and
yep,
and maybe find some strange in that because I mean,
and leave feedback in our comments.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, talk about that.
All right, what's up?
Okay, so the next article that we're going to go through is one that I found quite amusing. I mean, it's kind of horrific what this person did, but it's still kind of funny.
Yeah.
It is from the World News Daily Report, and it's kind of questionable that World News seems like that.
It's not the weekly World News.
That's what I was associating it with. It's the Texas man admits to kidnapping 79 people to anally probe them while disguised as an alien.
And that right there is where the abduction stories come from. People have just been dressing up as aliens and anally probing other people.
You think he's a plant?
Somebody that's got a shit in the punch.
Maybe he is. Maybe this is how they're like covering up the aliens are actually probing
Yeah,
Humans.
and this man is closer to this area. This is from El Paso, Texas.
Not that close.
Well, it's kind of close. It's still in the same.
How far
state.
back did this go again?
This is fairly recent. I don't.
Well, how long was he probing?
No, like he'd been doing it for like decades, hadn't he?
Damn.
He'd been doing it a long
Hold on,
time.
I'm trying to find that in the article.
Thought he went back,
Got that
like, into
long
the
finger
70s.
on his costume. Really nasty.
Oh, for 40 years.
Jesus.
Jesus.
He's been doing it for 40 years, yeah.
Wow.
It says.
That's
Did he
over
just
half a
repent
half a
now?
lifetime.
Did he just repent? I think
Yeah,
they
I
just
think he just
caught
got
him.
caught.
Maybe he got caught during
He got too
an anal
old.
probe. You know, he's a little too slow
Somebody
to
called
fucking
him
beam
on
his ass up.
bullshit.
Mid-probe.
Mid probe, right?
Yeah.
Says 73-year-old Arnold White.
Fucking broke his finger in someone's asshole and then went ow, and then we're like,
Right.
wait,
Oh, yeah,
that's
you have to
not a
have an
probe?
extension for that.
What's going on here?
It's 73-year-old Arnold White was arrested after a joint investigation led by the FBI and El Paso Sheriff's Office and the El Paso Police Department. Originally interrogated about 4 crimes committed in the region in the 1990s. Mind you, he was interrogated prior to this. And
so he's been on the radar for a
retired
while.
trucker confessed to a total of 79 kidnappings across California, Nevada, New Mexico, and Texas over a period of 40 years. And Mr. White confessed to using a mix of hallucinatory drugs containing LSD and PCP to subdue his victims before approaching them and carrying them inside his truck and assaulting them.
You know, if I'm going to mix up drugs to like subdue someone, PCP is not going to be in that mix.
Right, just for all of you out there, need some
They're going
tips.
to get wild and crazy and shit?
Yeah,
They might fight back.
They might fight back.
Well, if they're on
might like
LSD
to fight,
too, they
though.
might fuck them up too. You know?
Right, yeah. If
Who
you
knows
want-
what the combination of LSD and PCP is going to do?
Well,
That's
Longer
true,
strength.
but I mean, PCP's been known to like.
Well, Daniel said it. Maybe they do like to fight, or maybe he likes to fight.
Maybe he does like to fight. Maybe
you
that's all
strength
part of
of
the
gorilla.
abduction thing.
Go for some angel dust.
And see, now that I've bested you in Mortal Kombat, I get to bang you.
Yeah.
Oh, what voice did he use? Did he use a voice?
He used voice.
Right.
That's what I'm kind of curious about now.
Gleep gloop.
It said he would insert fingers and objects in their various body cavities, and he had even created his own sex toys designed to look like alien tools
Various
and medical
cavities.
instruments. Yeah, various cavities.
It's either going.
What if
it's
he
either
was
going in
wacky as fuck
vaginas,
about it? Like,
It's going up the butt. the
welcome
options.
to the fun house. You know, like just total madman.
He definitely
alien
had a
dude.
green dick, right?
Did he have a room?
A gray dick.
Did he have a room
Gray.
in the Holiday
reptilian.
Inn in Paramus?
That is the
I
question.
wonder.
And did he discuss the end of the world?
Let's see. Oh,
Oh, Christ.
I mean, did he have any like repeat probers or whatever? It was. Oh man,
I
have you seen
don't
the
think
picture of this
so.
guy? He looks.
No, I
He
think
looks like he could be a fucking alien.
That's
His
how he got
ears.
the idea, man. He's like, I could pull that off.
Well, you know, aliens
got
really
some-
don't have ears.
Yeah, they don't. Well,
No, they
I don't know
don't,
that.
but, like,
Ray, what do you know?
his-
Have you been probed?
I haven't been probed, but I'm just speaking on
he
like
wants to be.
the races
Well,
of
what if
aliens.
he
But there are
went
the
as a
Nordic
Vulcan?
aliens that do have ears, but they're not as big as this motherfucker. So.
Maybe he's a hybrid.
This
He's
guy has a
Hybrid
goofy
alien.
ass looking face. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say.
Romulans, Ferengi. There's tons of alien races
Vulcans.
out there he could be.
He's got like goblin troll ears or some shit. They stick out. Like,
Klingon, man. Fuck. That's the warrior shit. He's fucking pretending to be a Klingon. All right.
It said he chose victims who were gullible and might fall for his traps, and several of his victims were actually UFO investigators. He found hanging out around Area 51 and
I was
Roswell.
right.
When you said Nevada, I'm like, oh, this is
yeah.
where
Well,
some of those things came
Yeah,
from.
for sure, man. I mean, how the but
so
how-
yeah, he did pick up people hanging out around Roswell.
Maybe
and Area 51.
was the inside of his truck like decorated like a UFO, or
I
there's a
don't know,
hotel
man.
room?
It was a tiny seat. you
Maybe
know?
maybe the
I
room
mean-
was a room in the UFO
Maybe,
truck.
This has got a bunch of Christmas lights and tinsel and shit.
He just put mirrors up so the back of the cab looked bigger too.
And there were more aliens that way.
This looks like a spaceship, guys. On Wii.
Yeah, he's shopping mall restaurants at that one. Yeah.
And it says that Arnold White is now facing a total of 347 criminal charges, including several
Yeah.
charges of kidnapping, aggravated sexual assault by use of drugs, oral copulation and by anesthesia or a controlled substance, assault with intent to commit sexual offense, and the possession of a controlled substance. And he could face
He's gonna spend
382
the rest of
years
his
to life
life.
in prison.
Yeah, he's not going to last that long.
I bet that possession charge is just because he had a little bit of weed on him.
I don't know. Maybe he had his mix of
Let's just
LSD and
slap her
PCP.
out
Maybe
on.
he was like abducting someone when they caught him.
Yeah, he had to. Yeah, but it's probably. Just
I mean,
weed,
couldn't
though.
they? Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
no, the cops drop a bag at the scene.
347 criminal charges.
Well, what's that, sir?
Sprinkle some crack on him.
Sprinkle some crack on him.
Yep.
Open and shut case, Johnson.
I mean,
I've seen it 100 times. Thanks, Dave Chappelle, for the foundation of that joke. Once upon a time, yeah.
He just
As
won,
far as the sprinkling
got
crack on it.
I think they just had an award ceremony for him, didn't they? The Mark
He
Twain.
got the Mark Twain award.
Oh no
I don't know if you
shit!
got, it's pretty.
Yeah, he
it's
did.
pretty damn funny, actually.
That's
I
what's
saw
up.
Parts of it. It was pretty awesome. So thanks again for that. And yeah, this is some silly shit. I love how they have that quoted. Like you were mentioning, he would insert fingers and objects in their various body cavities.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's just
but
like
did he do it?
blown up
But
in
did he go from
monster
ass to
font.
mouth? Is my curiosity.
well, they did list
Right,
oral
yeah.
copulation.
They did by anesthesia. So
What?
I mean, who's to say?
What do you do? Pop them full of Novocaine and face fuck them?
Yeah, something like that.
Like,
Just some of that chloroseptic spray.
That's
World
that
News
Right to the
should-
back of the
That
throat.
should be the quote of the episode. Did he fill him full of Novocaine and face fuck? Valley Strange.
Did they?
listen to this.
Did he have a preference, men, women?
I didn't say.
It didn't say.
I think he just
No,
wanted.
he's
some,
probably-
I think
he's
he
an
just wanted some
equal
holes, and he
okay.
went for it, man.
Now tell me, like,
Right.
really, like, how many like female UFO investigators are out there? Like,
Not many,
Yeah.
because assholes like this run around probing people.
All right, the skid.
well,
It's pretty crazy.
it could have also been a major attraction.
That's true.
Well, I mean,
They're
but
like, I could experiment and I
There are a
won't
couple
get
of people that are
pregnant.
interested in
well,
that shit.
I'm pretty sure that's on the internet somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a whole category devoted to that, I'm sure.
Oh
Yeah,
that-
you know what I kind of wonder, just to leave off on this note, but I kind of wonder, like, if he impregnated anyone and they like went on to have the kid and say you're half alien or whatever, and there's
Yeah.
some people
Your
out
father is
there
a traveler from a far star.
that are just like absolutely confused.
Of El Paso.
Well, with those big fucking
Yeah.
ears, they probably you probably did
Might
have a
believe
child
it.
with like
He's
fucking
a goofy looking motherfucker.
overly huge ears.
Ross Perot?
Yeah.
Ross Perot, yeah, probably. Our next article is from ABC News, and which is pretty shocking, but not really though.
Yeah.
January
well,
8th,
I was a little surprised.
2020. UFO sightings in North America jumped to nearly 6,000 in 2019. California, Florida, and Washington are at the top rankings for most UFO sightings. Now, that's,
California, Washington, and where?
California,
This
Washington,
article
and,
actually kind
Florida.
of angered me at
Florida.
the end.
Does Florida have legal weed too?
no.
Don't they?
I don't know.
No, I guess
No,
not. That doesn't
Washington-
But
explain
they
it.
do have a lot of bath salts.
Oh, that'll do it.
Daniel, you said this
No,
article
so-
angered you at the end.
Yeah, actually, so when they were kind of discounting, or like whenever they were like quoting those dickheads at the end, they're like, well, people look in the sky should realize that like what Jupiter and I think Venus were more visible during like 2019 for some fucking reason. And then they talk about all the satellites Elon Musk put up into space, and that's like puts like another like 1,000 or so objects in the sky floating around. It's like, people that are reporting this stuff know these things exist. They know about airplanes. The thing is, this shit, something in the sky moved not like a plane or anything you've seen.
Or a
don't know what
satellite.
the fuck it is. Or a satellite. Yeah, because satellites just don't change directions.
Right,
Like,
they go straight.
No.
Well, arc,
Right.
whatever.
yeah,
Relative.
they have their trajectory, and they follow that. They don't deviate, and unless asteroid or whatever, but that's not going to, cause something to come down, flash lights, and then jump back in the sky. You know?
Right. That's not typical behavior for a satellite.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would want to be a satellite tech because that'd be kind of a cool ride all the way down. Just like, whoa.
Yeah, just bring the satellite down, fix it, fly it back up. Easy enough.
I mean, Elon Musk is probably working on this too. Like,
if he's not, he should totally give us a little bit of equipment.
Ways to land his satellites or his rockets out in space onto other way stations or whatever.
Oh yeah, I mean they're working on that. I was thinking
maybe some cool driveways,
landing it here on Earth and fly it back up. I mean, if they can come up with that, that's going to revolutionize the whole satellite industry without it burning up on the way down.
But I think it was really shitty of those people to point out these things. It's just like it seemed like they were just trying to be dismissive of the whole phenomenon.
Well, it's ABC News. I mean, let's be realistic here. I mean, I don't know if the person who's actually writing this, and this person is Ivan Pereira.
Something to talk about.
All right, we need to look into him.
Yeah, see what his background is in this situation. But the jump from this year to last year was last year in 2018. The sightings were 3,395, so close to like 3,400. But if you
I know what happens.
If you have any sort of a MUFON newsletter, which we subscribe to through our MoQuest email, you get every month you get like sightings broken up by countries and states. And normally Texas, I mean, obviously as big as it is, does have a lot of sightings as well. And we are like close to like the SpaceX thing, and then of course you have like.
Hey, but we haven't officially launched anything.
No, we haven't. But I mean, like, people
are just
shit here all the time, you know.
Or fall over.
Yeah, the fall over thing, that was pretty terrifying.
Yeah. I'm surprised that Washington came in third, because normally when I see those MUFON reports, I mean, I don't see Washington as having that many sightings. But I mean, you're going to go back. I don't know the numbers throughout the entire year, but they do fluctuate, obviously, because aliens the UFOs, aren't consistent throughout the United States or where their trajectory is.
Their distribution or whatever.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I do actually kind of have a story that relates. I don't know if it made the list, though. I didn't see it there. The one about the first British astronaut.
It's because I deleted it. Just kidding, Bryan. I didn't see it on the list.
I think I sent it to y'all.
I don't know.
Well, if it was through Facebook, it may have not just hit this page.
But if you have it, go ahead. I mean,
a couple weeks ago, it was this year, the first British astronaut, who I believe was also female, not that really matters, point blank said that she believes there are aliens and that they may be walking amongst us.
All right.
And that got coverage. She said it to the BBC, and it spread like wildfire to all the media outlets.
Well, I mean, I know when I went to the
BBC.
The UFO convention, the guy Nick Pope, the guy who they call him like the...
I know Nick Pope.
The British...
I mean, not personally, but...
Yeah, the British Mulder.
Right.
Yeah, because he worked through a lot of like those kind of...
Well, he point blank worked for the government, and
yeah, he worked for the government,
doing UFO
yeah,
stuff.
and he did like work with Hillary Clinton stuff, where they were talking about like disclosure and all that kind of shit. But I mean, I think in the BBC, like over there in the UK, like these types of news, this type of news isn't exactly like. It's more common over there, I would say.
Right. Well, there was also, you got to admit, Europe, they had the whole Brussels UFO thing.
Less sensationalist.
And France. So they're a little more open about it in general.
Yeah.
But
even in Canada, too.
Yeah. I mean, she came out point blank, said, I believe there are aliens. I think they might even be amongst us. We just can't see them, which conceivably, if they could travel such a distance to get to here, they probably could hide from us. I mean, if they have that kind of technology, what's to say they can't, cloak themselves? It's
right.
Traveling light years, that's difficult. Cloaking yourself
could be getting probed right now, and you wouldn't even know it.
Well, I don't know about
by
that.
a 79-year-old man.
But I mean,
right.
Now they're gonna be like asking people whenever someone describes an abduction, were you on LSD? Were you on PCP?
They're just going to do a drug
test. Go down the list.
Maybe, you know what? To be fair, if someone says they were abducted, Maybe just give him a drug test.
Right.
Just like
Right. Give him a drug test and a polygraph and
you don't need to do the polygraph.
and cavity search. Got to make sure.
Make sure nothing got
cover all
left
the
there by
bases.
accident.
Yeah, there you go. No, it's foreign objects. Yeah. So,
Okay.
what do we leave off on there, Brian?
Oh, well, basically, I mean, we had a surge in 2019,
Talking
but
about
what
the
2019
BBC
was
guy.
that Roswell shit, right? Or was that 2018? No, 2019. Where all the fucking people went over there. Where they're trying to like.
That was
Raid Area 51.
That was last year.
Yeah, that was
That was
2019.
Yeah, well, I mean, I mean, all these kinds of things that happen with the aliens and the Area 51 thing. I mean, people could be obviously just bullshitting this whole time.
Oh no, it was a coordinated effort. Okay, so people were trying to report more and more UFOs to try to draw out the people at Area 51 to go investigate
And,
this, helping leaving the base a little less defense.
and,
lower their defenses just a little bit.
And everyone
nearby
forgot to
Vegas,
show up.
and then in the horizon, waves of men, children in fedoras,
Right.
holding unsharpened
Hipsters.
katanas.
right running by the majestic neckbeards. So don't
A herd
forget,
of
though,
majestic
in-
neckbeards.
In nearby Vegas, Anheuser-Busch did their part by sponsoring one of the alien cons or whatever that they tried getting together for all of that shit. So everybody's doing their part, right?
I know. Thanks, Anheuser-Busch.
That's
And
Budweiser.
Coors, right?
Good.
Yep. So what's,
They know who they are.
Yeah, just follow the money, right?
All right, so
What's next on the list?
Next article that we're gonna discuss is this is more centralized to Texas. It's the remains of 3 people found during renovations at the Alamo. This could explain all those ghosts that we see over
I
there.
have 3 responses or 3 words in response.
That's funny. Well, is that coinciding with the 3 bodies
I
that were
had
found?
like 2 letters.
Two
or
letters?
two words through 2 letters. 2 words.
Letters,
Hold on,
words, they're all the
I
same.
Hold on.
2, but
Okay.
I went to 3.
Okay, Roland, I want to
'Cause
hear
there's
your,
3
your
people.
2 real quick. Go ahead.
My
And then I want to hear
to this
Daniel's
was-
3
I
responses.
mean, like, it was kind of an easy no shit. Like, oh wow, you found something,
Well, they were found in like a
Surprise.
burial chamber. I mean,
right?
what did you expect to find there?
Ghosts.
Well, that's all that's at the Alamo, man. Fucking ghost. Roland, you're in fucking San Antonio right now. Go investigate this right now. Drop the mic.
Right? Yeah, I'm gonna
Fucking
go knock
dude.
the door. Knock on their door and be like, hey, I want to
Take a voice
Come on.
recorder and do some EVP stuff.
Roland, speaking of which,
Right.
I mean, I don't know if they still have it there, but you should go through the ghost walk that they have downtown. That might be of some
wow, I
interest to
forgot
you
about
that you
that.
might be able to do while you're up there. I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know if they still
Maybe.
have it. It's been a decade, a little over a decade.
You know
since
what? I wouldn't be
I've been there.
surprised, dude.
It's a
Yeah.
big money drawer, man. I mean, the guys
Absolutely.
that fucking do it, or at least when I was there, I mean, they were raking. I think it was like $20, $25 for like 3 hours, and they like walk you around San Antonio
Per
and
head.
tell you all the haunted areas. I mean, those
Yeah,
guys
it's
fucking cleaned
like
up in one fucking night, man. I was like, shit.
An hour or 2 or something like
Those
that.
guys
I
probably
don't know
made
what.
more in that one night than they do all fucking week.
I mean, yeah, it's a smart racket or whatever. All they're just
I mean,
doing
those
is going
sort
around
of those
talking
sort of
about.
gigs, those fucking, yeah, those just make bank. I went on. I think I've done it twice now, or just once. I can't remember, but I've done the underground tour in Seattle because, like, modern day Seattle is basically built on old Seattle. So there's all these like entryways still in the city where they'll take you like underground and stuff and like show you like, oh yeah, look, up there, yeah, that's the street where we entered at, and it wasn't even a really long thing. I think maybe like an hour and a half or some bullshit. And
That's not much.
I don't know what those tour guys are getting paid, but I mean, but they were racking up like, they had like a tour going every fucking like hour or some shit, load up like 40, 50 yokels and then send them off, and then it was.
Yeah, that's
anyway,
basically what happens in San Antonio.
So my 3 words, I would like to
Oh,
get
please.
to those right
Go
quick.
ahead.
Okay.
Drum roll.
So next. Yeah, it's basically no shit from Roland. It was not far off. It's an archaeological site. There's people that were here.
Not just an archaeological site. It's an archaeological site that had a burial chamber and where a battle happened.
But they found a baby, guys, a baby.
And archaeologists have been working at the Alamo for like 3 years now. They started back up in like 2017 or 16. No, 16.
Why,
right
but
before I moved
I don't
up
understand
here.
why they wouldn't have found this.
They've been
sooner.
through the area a few different times over the
just
hundreds of years, but it's just there's a lot of area and they're going deeper than before.
Okay, I guess so.
It's not as it's not as straightforward as literally it is as simple as them pulling out a shovel, but like they have to go out through the loops and fucking red tape to fucking get shit started and then figure it out at that point. So
I mean, I thought they would just walk in there and start
there's
chiseling.
no telling how long that could.
Oh, you just take out the excavator and you put everything onto a sieve shaker and just see what's still there. Yeah. Right? That's what you do?
Well, you just get like the fucking local people to come in with an axe or something and start chiseling at the walls or something. I don't know.
Pickaxe.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
That's how you find the gold.
Right. The right tool for the job.
Bones. Who cares about this shit? I want
like some kind of like.
What is this? Some kind of big chicken? No one cares.
Nope. Get out of here.
So not too shocking or shocking at all.
No, I mean it's interesting.
But like,
it's
It made like huge news everywhere, though.
Well, I mean,
shouldn't
with a
have.
headline like remains of 3 people found in the Alamo, like
I thought they were like
it seem
new
like it's a
people,
fucking-
like
It's
someone
a
that
modern
died
day
hours
yeah,
before.
yeah, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was like
This is an
they just
action
uncovered
piece.
bodies from a murder or something.
Right. Not
Yeah.
a recent
That's what I
murder,
thought
not one that
first.
may have
I was
happened.
Like, I was
It's
like,
the-
cool. Like,
It's the Phantom of the Alamo.
Well, yeah, that's what I thought at first. I was like, oh shit, like they found someone's like
man.
murdered
except
body.
the cross falls from the wall and hits the front floor. And
Right. I go and like I thought they were gonna
Burst
say
of
like the
flame.
body was fresh or something shit like that. Yeah, that would have been fucking cool.
Yeah.
Satan is the source.
Hooray.
But yeah, so yeah,
Valley Strange from Alamo
archaeological
twist.
site found people at an archaeological site.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have this here, Roland,
I'm
but we
digging this-
should do that like at here in the valley, doing like a ghost tour, so to speak.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about grave robbing or something. It's like I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
But, like,
You're gonna go to the
Also,
mausoleum.
like, a
I think there's
fly-by-night
dead bodies
style,
in
like-
here.
Dead bodies
do it
found in
once, though,
cemetery.
and just troll people.
Dead
Oh,
bodies found in
well.
Like,
cemetery. That's a good
take
one.
them to some like random spot in your apartment and be like, yeah, I got spooked here once. I felt a cold chill. Just taking all these mundane things, nothing cool, just like claim the stuff that you experienced happened.
You know, I know a couple
Yeah,
of
but
apartments
just
this would be
do it
perfect
once,
for.
you know, just
Well, the fact that you
Yeah.
just use the word, if you just literally bring them to your apartment, say, "Here's where I got spooked," then you just stand there. That'll be $20, please.
I hope you enjoyed the
And here are the
tour.
stains.
Or if
there's,
you want to stick around until the ghost, it's $5 a
Rate
minute.
us on Yelp.
Right.
Yeah, there's pizza pockets over there in the kitchen if you want snacks.
That'll be $10.37 per pizza pocket. I've got a pricing
Anybody want
scheme already.
sandwiches?
Let's do
Oh,
this.
and when I said there's beer in the fridge, I mean there's beer for me in the fridge. Don't touch that shit.
If you want anything, you gotta
We
go to
don't
the
have a
store around the
TABC
corner.
license, so you can't
Well,
sell
you know
you
what?
that.
I'll do you guys a solid. You can have some tap water. I don't have to pay for that here.
Yeah, there you go. But you clean your own cups.
You go one time when I turned on the sink, the water didn't go down. Then that fucking freaked me out.
You don't normally see
Yeah.
that
One
kind of
time.
behavior out of a major appliance.
One time it took 20 minutes for my water to become boiling on the stove. It usually takes 24. I think there were some otherworldly forces at play.
Speaking of giving a tour of ghosts in the Rio Grande Valley, I don't think this was in the valley though, but Virgin Mary leaves rose petals at Trouble
No, that
Texas
was
restaurant
not.
because this could be a Rio Grande Valley.
No, that's
scenario.
totally in the valley. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's. I was.
Well,
like,
I mean, the Virgin Mary
I
appeared
straight
in that
was like,
tree.
Yeah, that's true.
And was it Jesus on the
God.
tortilla?
that and fuck
Yeah.
that. And,
Yeah.
You know, seriously though, during that video that they had,
Yeah.
I seriously was like,
It's in
how did
Galveston.
Channel 5 get up there to cover something in Galveston? Because it just felt like
It did feel like that, right? I didn't even.
news, fellas.
I
or
automatically
like,
thought
why,
it was the valley.
why is
dude.
Galveston down in Donna? You know, like
Was there a major
why
tectonic
didn't just
shift? No one.
KRTV get on this shit? You know, like,
Where's Letty Valdez? I mean, I know she's covering this shit. Let me just read some of this bit of the article. Also from Coast to Coast. Again, I thought it was like from the fucking valley, but apparently it's not. The owner of a
It's
troubled
pretty close.
restaurant in Texas believes that her business was visited by the Virgin Mary and that she left rose petals behind as a sign that she had been there. Wow. Sarah
On top of that, they had
Asakar's a Tex-Mex restaurant in the city of Galveston has reportedly been struggling financially over the last few months, and no wonder the Virgin Mary showed
imagine a Tex-Mex restaurant in Texas suffering
Struggling.
financially.
Yeah.
There's
And-
only 8 million per square mile.
And it just so happened that the Virgin Mary
Figure it
came
out.
to this restaurant. I wonder how business has been since.
We should call them up and
We should
ask.
fucking call them and see, like, fuck, we should have done that.
Ring them up.
Ring
Dial
them
their
up,
number.
fucking- I don't even
Closed.
have their fucking number here.
Google it.
Google it.
Put 'em on
actually,
live.
I
Tell
think
them-
that-
What's the name of the
well,
restaurant? What is the name of the
No
restaurant?
idea.
Do you need another cable?
Well, in the news
'Cause I
segment,
think I got one in my
it seemed
truck.
like
We could
a bunch
totally
of people
put
in the
them
restaurant
on.
when they were like,
It's probably called like Sarah's Place or something.
Sara's place.
Sarah, excuse me.
I was thinking it, Ray. I
I can say it. I'm fucking Mexican. It's
hey, according to my DNA, I am
you're
too.
partially right.
Yeah, I'm partial.
Hey,
And this happened in
You
November
have
November
permissions.
13th. Just FYI. I did see that video, and it does not look like fucking anything.
"Oh, Bryan, now you can live out your dream of becoming a Latin king."
Oh, that's so true.
That should be ace, homie.
Are we,
You know, when the ladies
are we
the
watching
ladies saw
Blood
this
In, Blood
video.
Out this year?
Oh, we should.
Oh shit! Give me some chon chon. Oh, that guy
Yeah,
makes
we're
me
doing
laugh
blood
every
in,
fucking
blood
time.
out this year.
This video is so like grainy, and it's just footage from the. I mean, what could have? It's just like fucking security footage.
I mean, it was enough
The
to bring
lady
her to
said she
tears.
cried when she saw the video.
You couldn't see dick in that.
Yeah, you couldn't see
footage.
dick. Like I don't understand.
I
like,
watched
where
that
this-
shit like 5 times. I was like, I don't see anything suggest like.
Did you tell your
Anything
computer
happening right now.
to enhance it?
Right.
You gotta say
We're
enhance.
watching 1080, 4K.
Enhance.
Enhance.
Well, you always
enhance.
enhance.
Enhance more.
Just a quick. I mean, I'm sorry that we're
But
kind of
after
just
I
making.
analyzed it,
I'm sorry that we're
didn't
kind of
see
like
anything,
making
man.
fun of this article here, but I mean it's kind of ridiculous because again we've
Well-
we've experienced so many like Jesus and tortilla.
Yeah, right.
What else?
On the
Someone's
tree.
crying.
The tree,
the
the
tree,
crying
yeah.
statue.
Everyone's fucking aunt saw a fucking lechusa that was a woman at one point. Fucking like
She just
everyone's
transformed right there and
like-
flew over.
My grandma's aunts, cousins, brothers, sisters.
went
Mailman
to
saw
Glendale
Lechusa.
and he took out the susto. Yeah, like it's all of that
exactly.
shit. It's just it
There's so much of
permeates
it.
the culture of the Rio Grande Valley, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
one thing. It's fascinating about the region because you look at because we've
We've got a lot
I
of
think if you look
lore.
at the
Yeah.
well, if you look at I think the Rio Grande Valley kind of as an outsider studying it kind of academically, looking at the phenomenon of like folk religion and shit, because you can kind of, I mean, it's not as nifty, so to speak, as like Vodou traditions in Louisiana, also mixing with French and Spanish traditions and yada yada.
You mean the statues of the Virgin Mary and half buried bathtubs isn't like as culturally
Well,
like
so-
looked at as cool?
It's
no, I'm saying
I'm
that
joking.
I think it's a bit lame because, but it's our familiar though. It's
Yeah.
not the
Yeah.
alien, and that's like.
so. What I understand about like the Valley folk traditions is that a lot of them, I mean, like you can sort of reduce them down to the basics, like the basic occultism sorts of things and belief in supernatural.
It's basic like folk magic and superstition and
When you
with
try to-
heavy overtones to Catholicism,
Right. Yes, but
because
that is-
even like because there's even like the informal saints in Catholicism like that various healers or people said to do like all these like wonderful things where like they are put in shrines by like curanderos and curanderas, but they're not like part of like the Catholic canon,
No,
Right.
but they were absorbed in as a way to acculturate them, or rather pacify them
and then you have there's
God.
like that one church, and I think a great example of this fusion is that one fucking church in Far, that massive fucking one. Is it Far or whatever? Where they have
the cave,
San Juan,
the cave church,
the Basilica.
Oh,
yeah,
the San Juan
right,
Shrine,
right.
the shrine.
Yeah, where
Basilica.
they have that one. Yeah, the Basilica, where they have that one entryway where it's fucking petty folk god kind of like shit, where you have like all these little guys. It's like, that's one thing I don't understand about like Catholicism. It's like, why don't you just talk to God or whatever? Like, why do you need an intermediary?
Yeah, there's like a
It just
Well,
doesn't make sense.
God's pretty busy running everything.
But the thing is,
so
what's interesting is
Right,
that
he needs his little buddies.
But there's Catholicism just in itself, where you have like the mediators of like the
Right,
priest to
that's-
God or whatever, or,
Right.
or the
Like
Virgin
how you
Mary
mentioned-
but then in the Basilica though, you have all these other fucking figures that are hanging around. Like,
So
I've got a
Or is it
whole
like-
book on the Catholic saints that's a little out of date because they've added a few more, but it's not a
and
small
they're gonna
book.
be adding more and more.
it's not just it's just
end of
not it's
time.
not just like the Hispanic Latino culture though. Like you mentioned, Voda and folks over in Louisiana.
yeah,
It's
Well, I
the
mean-
same thing. They have their intermediaries between
Catholicism isn't
themselves
a
and the primary
Hispanic only
deity.
thing. Even
No,
the
it's-
Eastern
they-
Orthodox Church. Well, they've all kind of come into.
well, I was just talking about like the unique set of circumstances
yeah.
in the
well,
like.
no, I was going over
valley,
just
but-
you said saints, but the saints are recognized throughout Catholicism. Is what I was getting at.
No,
So
sure.
how you
and I
how
just
you
think-
mentioned the one example,
and I just find
over,
that-
though,
baffling. And then when you add in like the folk saints,
Yeah,
and
the
then
folk
you get
saints.
another layer of complication, which is
Or-
interesting.
Or even all right, I'm going to say this. I don't know if this is at all outside of the valley or if it's just kind of a valley like Texas border thing, but the Pancho Villa candles. Like you can go to HEB and buy Pancho Villa on a candle right next to St. Peter and all the other
Oh, yeah.
saints. Just like,
Saint Death.
you don't see those in HEB so much. You have to go downtown for those candles.
There are plenty of.
Hey, I'm just being straight up.
because it's going to take up
Get
space
video
from all of
stores.
the. It's going to take up space from all of the Spurs candles.
candles.
The Dallas Cowboy candles too.
That's the problem. No one lit enough Dallas Cowboy candles this year.
That's what it is, man. They didn't do that just before the fantasy football. I know.
So
Oh, but I had a fucking candle that was in the image of a fucking Emiliano Zapata, I believe. He was like a revolutionary down in southern
There
Mexico.
is-
Like
there
there's
was-
still like a quasi kind of.
Those are less common compared to Pancho Villa
Wing.
candles, though. But
Well,
yeah,
I'm wondering where I'm
there.
gonna get my candle of Freddie Fender. Or
you got to go to San Benny for that.
San Benny. Well, I live in San Benny. so-
Well, go start looking at some of the
just drive
local
down to the
shops.
corner store, Ray.
Just corner store.
Right,
What
if
about
you build
Richie
it-
Valens or something? I want a candle of Richie Valens or something.
California.
Should I go to California?
Yeah.
I can have it sent over here though.
Yeah, you could probably buy it online.
Right? Probably. Let's have a
Amazon.
look. See if you can find a Richie Valens candle.
All right.
Possibly.
I want an Obi-Wan Kenobi from Episode 4 candle. Like just
I don't know if they make those. There's licensing with that.
someone's typing. We'll see. And that person isn't me. I just hear some clicky clack, and I'm
Yeah,
getting,
that's me.
good looking out, buddy.
Let's see.
An
Come
image
on,
search
buddy.
reveals nothing.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, but
I guess someone's gonna have to make it, and that person's gonna be
Yeah.
me.
let's see here. What do we got? I'm trying
Yeah,
to see.
so
I think I might have found an
shopping.
Etsy channel.
Etsy counts.
But anyways,
Go to
So anyway,
candle.
circling
Go to
back,
that
like-
Carl guy that one person brought that candle to your apartment from. Maybe he can make a Richie Valens
the guy from
candle
the
for you.
gallery?
oh right, guy from the gallery, probably, dude.
Then Richie Valens will come and sing to you every night.
No free promotion for that place. They didn't pay us anything.
They do sell some nice
Not yet.
incense though.
Yeah.
If you're into that,
I'll go see what he
They
has to
got
say.
some fun stuff.
frankincense, myrrh.
Whenever we
You
do
know who
our
also isn't taking
Brujeria
any money
episode.
our way?
Who's that?
Anybody?
The Catholic Church, the Virgin Mary, or this fucking restaurant we were talking
Well,
about.
but we didn't name the
Let's
restaurant.
talk
though.
about the
To be
We
fair,
didn't
the
name the
Virgin
restaurant,
Mary
though.
doesn't need money.
what?
We didn't talk about the restaurant. Well, we didn't like name the restaurant.
Well, it just happened at the restaurant. Yeah, we don't know.
And
But the thing is,
the Virgin
like,
Mary's, Brian said that she doesn't need money. She just likes to give people money through other patrons' money.
If you hear this and
persons over there.
and you're feeling inspired by the Virgin to send us money, we have Patreon.
Yes, give us money through our Patreon. That way we can continue giving you the best of the best.
Only the best
news, the strange news of the Rio Grande Valley.
To be fair, I mean, I am very much quasi-Catholic.
Yeah, well,
so I mean,
so there you go. I mean,
well,
I may take I may take a slightly blasphemous.
Full Catholic.
well, you can light a candle, you'll be all right.
Catholic lights.
Catholic lights.
Quasi-Catholic. That's what I use, but you know.
Okay, so the last article I want to do, I had one just below this one, but fuck that
So are you
article.
Yeah, we don't need that one.
We don't need that article.
That one.
Wait.
No.
Oh, yeah. But, no, but the next one we should talk
I would
about.
like to end this episode. this episode, or this portion, I'm sorry, this segment of this episode. With
How long have we been doing
the
this?
Dog Man filmed in
About an hour and a
Texas. Yes, people, the Dog Man does exist, and he is in San Benito, my place of residence.
A chimera.
I thought it was going to be the Goat Man because I've heard lots of stories about the Goat Man.
Right,
but
Goat
the
Man.
Dog Man?
Lake Worth monster. Never heard of the Dog Man.
And there's a video of this quote unquote Dog Man, and frankly, I saw it about 4 or 5 times. That's fucking dumb. Not very good. What are these people with the iPhones or GoPros or like pretty sweet cameras, and they get all this blurry fucking imagery, and it didn't even look like it was that far away either. Good, Brian with his camera.
No, it doesn't. It isn't. It's like
No, they're in like an arroyo. They weren't even like the Rio Grande proper, and like
They took the video with like a Motorola V3 Razor or something.
This happened. This was like the Resaca, like near or behind my house somewhere. I've been there plenty of times. I've never seen a Dog Man. Maybe some duendes, you know. Maybe some other type of unworldly creatures, but a Dog Man? Now you're getting ridiculous.
just somebody needs to take a bath.
Right. Actually, I was talking to Bryce about this. I think, I don't know if it was Bryce that sent me this or I sent it to Bryce. I'm not too sure, but he was telling me that he was like, why are you fucking trying to take a bath in the fucking Resaca water and shit? Because apparently I'm the Dog Man.
Your host, Dog Man.
Yeah. Let me read some of this article real quick. It says an odd video circulating online appears to show the bipedal creature of some kind of lurking near a lake in Texas. And some viewers think that the strange beast could be a Dog Man. And the footage was reportedly captured 6 years ago. No wonder the shitty camera. In the city of San Benito by the fisherman named Ruben, who apparently only recently decided to share it with the world by the way of the website True Horror Stories of Texas. You should also check that website out. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, we've looked at some of
We claim some of our sources from that place. And according to the site, which claims that they spoke to Ruben about the sighting, the man and his friend were fishing for some alligator gar in a small lake. It's a Resaca, people.
Resacas are only.
Right?
Here's the thing: Resacas are only really in existence down here, known by that name.
Yeah,
everywhere else they're just oxbow lakes and cut off.
But I mean, if they're gonna name the town and the region,
well, this isn't for the valley people. This is for Yankees and folks that don't know that might come down
We're
here.
supposed to know about shit about
learn,
like Austin and Dallas. Why don't they have to know about us? That's what I'm fucking point out there.
It says, although the duo initially...
fuck about Houston. Houston don't give a fuck about San Benny.
No one cares about Houston.
Nonsense.
It takes 3 hours to get from Houston to Houston.
Although the duo initially suspected that they were watching a thirsty dog, Ruben and his friend were stunned when they saw the creature seemingly stand up on 2 feet. Dogs can do that sometimes, too.
And flip them off.
I watched the unedited one where they're just like, it's just it's wind fucking all the time because the fucking valley and shitty winds always gusting around. And within context, it's just like, first I'm just like, oh, why are they just being assholes out like fishing and just taking footage of a fucking Resaca? Like that's not very exotic. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, let me just pan over. What's that over there? So I'm thinking like hoax.
Yeah.
What?
But their reactions sound
A hoax in San Benito?
but their
Are you mad?
reactions.
Another hoax?
But
Where?
their reactions did seem a little genuine. Like I did kind of listen to it because they did seem kind of like genuinely surprised. And I think the article did mention it. Like the dudes do seem surprised, and I was like, well, let's see about that. And I was like, well, the way they said "a la verga," yeah,
That was genuine.
that's pretty on point,
Dude,
guys.
fucking, yeah. Well, I mean, people say
They need to put
Alaverga for
that
fucking
beat through
anything.
some stabilizing
In any way, so
software.
I guess the tone,
inflection.
the inflection in the tone,
Right.
Yeah.
implied a surprised person.
And being versed in Valley speak, being a former resident of the place, yeah.
And that
that
part's accurate.
That brings me kind of into doubt whether this is bullshit or not. But the whole fact of recording for like that long and kind of just lazily pan over, you know, and they're not really bullshitting, you know. It's like why?
And it was taken 6 years ago too,
quiet?
you know. 6 years ago, as he's been sitting on this footage, and then he just recently decided to share it with
I
people.
mean, he would have had to have shared it with someone else in San Benito, and it would have made its way to you, Ray.
Oh, obviously, right. He probably lives right next to me for all.
Right. I mean, he's your neighbor. Just knock on his door and be like, "Hey, what's the deal?"
Hey, compadre.
Hey, Ruben.
¿Dónde está the footage, güey?
¿Dónde está la verga?
I go, a la verga? He's like, sí, the footage. Yeah, I got it. Ese is okay.
Oh, you must be Ruben Alaverga, right? I saw your video.
Oh,
shit.
damn.
Okay.
Nowhere else to go from there.
All right.
Nice way to tie the episode together.
Yeah, tie the episode together. There we go. Ruff, ruff, ruff.
I'm gonna need a.
Do y'all want to take a break?
I
We've been
need a
going
break.
for about an hour 25 already, so we'll go into our second part just after a break.
Little midgets come into my house. Hey, it's ridiculous. I had some kind of a rectal probe. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Ridiculous.